Newton has personally been struggling as well while playing on a one-year deal. Bill Belichick brought up the Patriots salary cap issues earlier this week and said, quote, "This year we had less to work with. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact." You hear that, Acho? So did the Patriots set Cam up to fail this season? Emmanuel Acho.
No, Marcellus, they didn't. And I am a Cam Newton apologist like you, sir.
Yes, we are.
And as I look over my shoulder, he ain't looking at me today on the board.
He ain't looking at nobody right now.
He ain't looking at me today. Last week he had me scared. Now I'm going to say it with my chest.
Okay.
They didn't set him up to fail, Marcellus, because Cam Newton is actually who we thought he was. Unfortunately, that's a quarterback that's never really been an above average or adequate passer, but a quarterback that can still make plays with his feet. The problem is now you go to New England, and they've actually set him up to succeed. He just still hasn't. Marcellus, let me put it to you like this. Cam Newton passed for 25 times in a game, 25 times in another game, 15 times in another game, 19 times in another game. That, if you're a quarterback, is not setting you up for failure. We're not even asking you to do the one thing that quarterbacks across this league are asked to do: throw the ball a lot of times and try to win games. Patriots didn't even ask Cam Newton to win games, Marcellus. All they said was, Cam Newton, please, please, please.
Don't say it.
Do not lose us games. Marcellus, when you go somewhere, when you go to the casino and somebody lends you some money.
Can you stay out the casino?
No, I can't, and I won't.
How you don't drink, but you gamble your life away?
You have to have a vice. Everybody has a vice.
That's your
Gambling
vice?
is my vice. That's my vice.
Oh, okay.
My vice, okay? I wasn't that dude. I didn't have that dude money. I had casino money.
You know why you didn't have my money?
Why?
You gambled it all away.
Whatever, Sam. Let me get to my point.
Goodness.
When you're playing with somebody else's money, it's called, when you're playing with the casino's money, it's called playing with house money.
I heard about it.
Cam Newton is playing with house money in New England. He goes to New England, and we're all like, oh, Cam, yay, Cam, he got picked up. You, yay, Cam, he got picked up. Me, yay, Cam, he got picked up. Cam Newton can do no wrong. He was playing with house money, but Sal, 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
That's yucky.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
So, no, they didn't put him in a position to fail. Cam Newton, he just kind of has failed on his own.
Okay. I can't push back too much. They didn't set him up to fail because he was taken to a team. He chose a team with limited options, if no options.
Fair.
And that was a 12-4 playoff team.
Absolutely.
With a home playoff game.
Absolutely.
So let's not act like this was an entirely empty cupboard.
Where you going? I'm interested in this tape.
All right, so
I'm interested.
Look, today we're talking about society at large, obviously. When you look at it, you can't blame others for your disappointments. You can't always blame your circumstances for your setbacks. So Cam Newton has to look in the mirror as well. But blasphemy for you to say that this guy is not an adequate passer. Has he ever won an MVP? I wonder if you could ever win an MVP as a quarterback by rushing your way to that title. Oh, no, you can't. He won 15 out of 16 games in the regular season that year. So Cam Newton has shown before that he's an adequate passer. Let's not forget that he's completing this year 66% of his passes. What does that mean to him? Oh, for a guy who's a career 59% passer, he's having an above-average year in terms of accuracy. Why does that matter? Why does that matter? Because he comes to a situation that was bad, but not impossible to win with. When Cam Newton started this season, first 2 games, took care of the football, what happened to the New England Patriots? Oh, they actually find themselves in winning situations. When Cam Newton became a turnover machine, all of a sudden it became a problem. But that's not a New England Patriots problem. That's a Cam Newton problem that is fixable because Cam Newton is not a guy that is known typically as a turnover machine. So Cam Newton can fix his own problems, and then he will look at his situation quite differently. I look at this situation like a little split. One, it was so bad that Tom Brady left. Tom Brady said, this was a dynasty. Now I need to go and create another one somewhere else because there's no one left here to play with. Look at the weapons that Cam Newton had to play with on Sunday. The 6 wide receivers available. This is kind of up your Carson Wentz lane sleeve. You ready for this? All 6 of them were undrafted free agents. Worse than you, Acho. Like, you were 6th rounder, right? Like, after that round, and then after that, them dudes like, hey, they call you? Oh, no, that's my homeboy. Hey, they call you? No, that's your girlfriend. Undrafted free agents. He had to throw to 6 of them. Demir Bird. Who's that? Jacoby and Myers, the law firm. Gunner. We already know when your name's Gunner, you ain't gonna be that good. Isaiah Zuber, Mason Kinsey, Christian Wilkerson. My point being...
I don't know your point.
My point being is Cam Newton is trying to make something out of little. Not nothing, an opportunity, trying to make something out of it. But this opportunity, let's be real about it. Tom Brady departed it because it wasn't going to be that great. Cam Newton is realizing that in this moment as
Marcellus, I'm about to undress your argument one button at a time. Let me start with the MVP argument.
Excellent.
The reason Marcellus that Cam Newton won the MVP in 2015, not because he was a prolific passer.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
I didn't say that. I'm just telling you, it's not because he was a prolific passer. His completion percentage was 59%
I said that.
You did.
Okay.
I just want to put it in context. Baker Mayfield's completion percentage was 59% last year. The reason Cam Newton won the MVP that season over the likes of Russell Wilson is because Cam Newton had 10 rushing touchdowns that season. So your rushing ability can propel you to winning an MVP. Now, that's the first button I just popped off. Let me get to that second button.
You ain't need no help popping my buttons.
Let me get to that second button.
I need help.
Cam Newton, Marcellus, no, he doesn't have a lot of help.
But
you sat here and we've critiqued, like you said, the Carson Wentz argument. We've critiqued other quarterbacks for not having help. Carson Wentz is doing a lot with his minimal help.
Different.
Travis Fulgham, he was a 6th-round pick. He's currently the NFL leading receiver in the last since week 4, the last 4 weeks, because of Carson Wentz. So don't tell me about, Cam Newton doesn't have help.
I will retort.
That's that second button. Let me get to that third button, okay? Let me get to the chest hairs. Let me get to the
taco
chest hairs.
The taco meat?
The real issue at hand is very simple.
What?
Cam Newton in 7 seasons has had a completion percentage under 60%. 60% is just a qualification of being adequate in the NFL. Marcellus, I couldn't find any other quarterbacks in the last decade with such horrendous statistics, but there are 4 other quarterbacks that have had 3 seasons of a completion percentage that low. Andy Dalton, Blake Bortles, Colin Kaepernick, and there is Joe Flacco. He had 2 seasons of such. Cam Newton is in terrible company. My last point on this lap is very simple. I love Cam Newton, but I'm a realist. You love Cam Newton, you're not a realist. Let me get to this. Cam Newton, 10 seasons, 3 winning seasons, 7 losing seasons. Cam is who Cam is. The great times are great, but the bad times are bad, and right now it's a bad time. Sal, if the Patriots were telling Cam Newton, hey, you got to go out there and throw the ball 40 times a game, 50 times a game, I would say they're setting him up for failure. But they're saying, hey, we're going to let you run the ball more than you've ever run the ball in your career. Over 9 rushing attempts a game. They're saying, hey, Cam, we're not even really going to ask you to play quarterback like we traditionally know it to be played. We're going to let you do what you do best, and you're still not doing that very well. I love Cam, and it hurts me to say this, but Marcellus is facts over feelings. You told me that day 1.
Okay, well, here's a fact. You left some buttons still up here for me. And
I'm gonna get to those
all
later.
You did was show more of my sexy. Now you're in trouble because I'm going to look better and sound better than you. Cam Newton, you say he's not a prolific passer.
No, sir.
He threw for 35 touchdowns in that MVP year. Is that prolific? Or is that
Depends
good?
on the interception.
10, only 10. Kind of good. With 59% completion percentage, which is not good.
It's terrible. It's
which
bad.
makes me go back to my first point, which is this year he's completing 66% of his passes. Why he's not Carson Wentz, why he's not in the trash juice like Carson Wentz is, simply because Carson Wentz has a worse completion percentage, 58, which has nothing to do with the weapons around you. And second of all, decision-making. Cam Newton is not making the same bad decisions Carson Wentz is. He's just losing the football or throwing it away.
Let me talk to you. If Carson Wentz is trash juice, the juice at the bottom of the bag.
The bottom, that green,
no
orange,
question. It's the worst kind. It's the worst kind, except, you know when you take the trash out of the container and the juice starts to drip on the floor because you got a hole in the bag? That's Cam Newton.
Oh, really?
Right now. If Carson Wentz is trash juice in the bag, Cam Newton is the trash juice that's on the floor in the kitchen that you got to go mop up. Let me tell you why, Sal. Please.
Get off my analogy.
Carson Wentz at least has 17 touchdowns. I'm not going to make this conversation about Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz has a whole bunch of bad. But then let's talk about Cam. Cam has 2 passing touchdowns, Marcellus.
Yes.
2.
That's horrible.
Jarvis Landry has 1.
That's
a receiver. Cam has 2. So Cam only has 6 rushing touchdowns. Cam has 8 touchdowns on the season and his bottom 5 in turnovers. My God.
But can you stop that? Because right now he is having a career year in terms of rushing the football. In terms of 49 rush yards per game, that's career best for MVP. That's saying a lot. Let's also talk about the fact that he is accurate with the football. That's saying a lot. We're talking about the Patriots. Did they set him up to fail? You want to go Carson Wentz versus Cam Newton, you're still going to lose that argument. But I'm trying to stay on the rails right here and talk about the Patriots. We're talking about a quarterback who went to a situation that every single evaluator would say, that's not a good situation in terms of talent, in terms of offensive production, and in terms of weapons. Tom Brady left, and Cam Newton comes in because he had no options, but it still wasn't a situation where he was set up to fail because when he protected the football, first 2 games, 71 completion percentage, they 1-1 in terms of touchdown interception, so you weren't turning it over like you have the last 4 games, 337 yards per game, 97 quarterback rating, which is right there with Phillip Rivers, who's a 5-2 quarterback. All Cam has to do